Stephen Jill's radio show.
What's going on, everyone, on Wisdom tonight? It's Sunday night as I'm recording this episode at the moment. And basically, what's happened, the hell has been going on in the WWE now. Where news, allegations, criminal activity from Vince McMahon have come out and about to the media. Former employees of the WWE quite possibly have filed lawsuits against Vince McMahon for sex trafficking and other bad behavior that I cannot believe to my eyes that at one time I was a huge WWE fan when I was a kid, because at that time of my life, when I was a teenager, actually, I used to watch a lot of WWE, and it's just what you did on a Saturday. I can remember. I think you would watch Raw. I think in Australia, at least, you'd watch Raw on a Tuesday afternoon, if I can recall. Because normally we're 24 hours. America is basically roughly 13. They're a day behind us. So basically, I used to be a huge wrestling fan growing up. But now I think, with lawsuits going on with the WWE and how this is going to damage the company's reputation, of course, like Vince does, he will deny everything until he basically gets what he wants. He's one of these people where he'll use you and spit you out. When he can no longer make money out of you as a wrestler, he pretty much, what can I say, fires you, because you're no good to him anymore. So that's the problem that the WWE have had. With all their wrestlers. CM Punk filed a huge lawsuit against the company. Now, why did he come back? I don't know. Why Phil Brooks decided to walk back into the company, I don't know, because there was quite a number of years where he was complaining, and I can understand why he was complaining, because he was just overworked. And basically, a money little guinea pig to make the WWE money, Vince money. Now, there's wrestlers who are still there today. Randy Orton, for one, I am so surprised he was able to return from spinal fusion surgery. That nearly ended his career. He's been lucky that we all thought that when Orton was gone for 18 months, we thought he was retiring. But, when he came back, he looks much, much more muscular than ever. I think he's probably taken the steroids. Duh, AJ Styles, of course they are. They just look big. The problem, Orton has been a WWE guy, God, since I was a kid. He's had his hiatus, he's had his suspensions. Personally, I believe Orton should at least change his entrance music. I think it's time for a change. I think voices has been just overused. I'm talking his entrance theme. When he had Burning My Light, that was great. But I think the problem, I believe wrestlers should change their theme at least two, 3 times in their career, because it can get very repetitive and boring. Like, I'll talk about Eddie Guerrero. When he turned heel, that was a great move for the WWE to turn Eddie heel. Changed his theme, and it was much badass. It was really cool, and I think wrestlers should have the creative right and freedom to decide how their theme music's going to be. And this is the problem with WWE and Vince McMahon, because in Vince's eyes, it's what he says it's my way or the highway. When the WWE went into the PG era in 2009, back then Batista, John Cena, Edge, or Adam Copeland, Kane and The Undertaker were still there. But when they went into this PG show, it just started to not feel the same anymore. It was shit. The creative freedom that they took away wrestlers' props. Chris Jericho was there too. He was the heavyweight champion. Shawn Michaels, JBL. You turn a wrestling show into a PG show for kids. You've just destroyed the business. And there's, what Vince says, this no blood policy, this drug testing policy. It got worse even more lately, even the last 3-4 years. It was just so scripted. They're reading off a teleprompter, and you can just tell, like, the storylines are just obvious. Like, you know what's going to happen. It doesn't have that soap opera anymore, where it was all improvised. Wrestlers improvised, and they could have to have freedom on the microphone and drop the F-bomb, and they just bleeped it out on live television. They were allowed to bleed in the ring, which was awesome to watch. Steve Austin in the Attitude Era, and I think that's what All Elite Wrestling is doing, is bringing that back. It's great, and I prefer to watch AEW now. Because the problem is you get these big companies and they just so big. Vince don't care about you. He wants to make money off you. Maven Hoffman on if I can recall on his YouTube channel talk, he explains the wrestling business, in more detail. Very good wrestler he was. But this is the wrestling business. Build you up and spit you out. Bret Hart was actually right, and well, whatever Vince McMahon has done, he should be ashamed of himself for sex trafficking, because that's just plain evil to do that sort of shit. I guess the truth comes out eventually. Now, obviously, these are what they call accusations. Uh, but you read multiple news articles out there, and I think that it's something's got to change in the WWE. Really, something has got to change there. Triple H as the CEO, COO, whatever, he's not, in my opinion, he is not suited to be a CEO. He was always better as a wrestler in DX, and this is the problem with these big corporate companies dictating what happens, what wrestlers can and can't do, false promises, especially WWE. Now, with CM Punk, I don't know how long he's going to be there. I think he's just there to make a quick buck, just quick money, it seems, same as Cody Rhodes. But Randy Orton, he's been there for 20 years. Pretty much like a Shawn Michaels, an Undertaker, who else? Triple H, yes. Basically, wrestled just for one company and nowhere else. See, the part of the wrestling business is they're independent contractors. So when they're a free agent, they can decide to go and sign with another organization. They can go and wrestle anywhere in the world. Japan, wherever. Ric Flair wrestled in Japan. The downside to WWE and the UFC is the same. Is they have all these legal bindings in these contracts that are so complicated to read. You have to hire a lawyer to proofread it to you, because it's written in a complicated way, and it's like you are basically a slave for the one company. They're not employees. WWE, Maven explains the wrestling business, can explain all that stuff more. It's on his YouTube channel. But, bringing politics into the company, it ruined wrestling, and WWE is shit. Roman Reigns is boring. John Cena, I'm fed up with Vince McMahon, because John Cena should have ended his career as a heel. At least changed to a heel and changed his theme to something more badass. John Cena's, in my opinion, is done. I mean, he's done it all. He was a great wrestler. He can make a better living in Hollywood. Same as Dwayne Johnson does appearances every how many years, 2-3 years, you'll see him come and wrestle. But this is the thing with the politics and money. Vince is just money hungry and only cares about how much he's going to make off you. I believe that it's I don't know what to say anymore. But the truth does come out. But other than that, on a positive note, the West Indies, they beat Australia. What a match to put up a fight against Australia. And I ended up watching the highlights, and wow, that was a great game of cricket at the Gabba. This is what I don't understand about the Cricket Australia. The Gabba just looks so quiet. Like no one even bothered to go watch the Test match for some reason. It seems to me that if Cricket Australia pissed people off and ticket sales go down, well, I think that they've got to stop with the politics in the game of cricket. The first innings, Australia scored 283 in the first, West Indies 188. And then Australia were 0 for 26 in the second and 120 to the West Indies. Sorry. Is this the Gabba or the other Test match? My bad. I don't know where this is coming from. Sorry, I read that wrong. Okay. Just trying to give you the scores, guys. Yeah, Australia in the first innings were 9 for 289. They declared in the first. West Indies then ended up scoring 311 in the first innings. Australia in the second, 207. And then West Indies scored 193 and they won by 8 runs. Wow. That was like, what a game of cricket. The bowling attack from West Indies was outstanding in my opinion. This side, that looked like they got a lot of potential. Steve Smith he ended up getting a 50 as well, which is nice to see. Steve Smith, he was 91. He scored, so he was able to get himself back into form a bit because he's opening up the batting. But Mitchell Stark, it's nice to see that our bowlers out there are really trying their best with batting, and they're willing to go and score the runs. Uh, Now, obviously, at the end of a day's play, if you bowled the team out and you start your innings, so say you're fielding, you've bowled out your opposition, you get your openers in. So, for instance, it was Steve Smith and Usman Khawaja, and then they have a night watchman. So, if the two openers can just hold out for the rest of the afternoon, even just blocking or just leaving as many balls as they can just to get through. That's what you want to do, because you want to try and avoid getting that early wicket and getting the night watchman in, because then the night watchman, who's a bowler, is going to be under a lot of pressure, and his job's there just to block and just to get through it. Even just block, take singles, leave as many as you can, duck as many as you can, and just get through the afternoon session for the next day. But it's good to see that our bowlers are willing to bat and score, because that you can't be relying on your batsmen. Yeah, it's Nathan Lyon bowling just beautiful off spin bowling. I would love to see more leg spin bowling in cricket. I'd love to see more leg spinners out there. I don't know. Maybe leg spin bowling is just, it's very difficult, but I'd love to see more leg spin bowlers. The greatest of all time was Shane Warne. There were other leg spin bowlers out there, Richie Bernard as well. Steve Smith is a leg spinner. Love to see him bowling too, if he can. Captain Pat Cummins gives him the ball and he can start taking some wickets, because he started out as a bowler, but I think he's just concentrating on his batting. But yeah, that's the game of cricket. Yeah, but if they keep getting all political, you can just tell, like, people just are not going to watch it. They're not even going to bother paying their tickets. Look, I'll still go and watch the cricket as much as I can, but just getting fed up, with this welcome to country. It's getting repetitive. It's, come on, you know. But that's what it is in Australia. NRL gets all political. Yes, they lost a lot of money in the pandemic, but the problem is, whenever they get funding from the government, it becomes like, oh, the government has their say in how a game should be played, because they rely on their sponsorships to keep it going. I mean, that's always been like that in professional sport. The advertising you see. But yeah, I think we've just got to, I guess, just keep the politics out of sport in general, and just enjoy our sport again like we once did. Because people want to go and be entertained rather than being told a bunch of lies that just don't make sense, because it doesn't make sense. Are you with me? It doesn't make sense. But that's sport these days. There's so much technology now with those stumps. They got like a camera, recording, audio device. Everything's picked up on the stump microphone. Before they just used to use wooden stumps, which were, I don't know why they have to have a $30,000 stump. I think just for one cricket stump, $30,000. But then the problem is if a bowler bowls it and it breaks the stumps because they take a wicket, well, that's a loss, isn't it? I mean, there's just too much technology now in sport. It's ruining the game, in my opinion. Even rugby league as well, in the NRL. It's ruining our sport. It's basically ruining the game, and I do feel that we as consumers out there need to basically start saying, hey, we're fed up. Like a lot of these venues, they're all cashless venues now. The Sydney Cricket Ground, Aquil Stadium, Belmore Oval. It's one of the most stupidest things that happened was because they think, because of COVID, they gave an excuse that we are all cashless. I remember round one last year, I went to Belmore that day. I watched the Bulldogs play the West Tigers. Very hot day, actually. Bloody hell, it was hot. Wanted to go buy my merch at the Bulldogs merchandise store, but then she says, "Oh, we don't take cash," and I'm like, "Well, I wanted to buy my merch." But at the end of the day, that's the venue's loss. So this is what has definitely pissed me off quite a lot. Is the control that they think they have. Good luck with it, because, like I said, you cannot be relying on the bank when they crash. We've already seen it when Optus went down for like 12 hours. It seems to me that it is control for I believe that venues should start taking cash again. Because that's what we need to do, is take cash. Because cash is what keeps the economy going and moving. Uh, I'm fed up with this dictatorship stuff going on too. And it's like, you know, trying to regulate vaping and e-cigarettes is just one of the stupidest things that you can do. I mean, if adults want to be vaping with disposable vapes, then let them do it. Smoke e-cigarettes. But kids and teenagers should not even be getting their hands on vapes or any nicotine-free vape. So I don't know how they get their hands on it, who's dealing it to them. I mean, that's breaking the law for starters, and they should never have been doing that. But to decide to try and take the freedom away from us Australians to say, you know, we're going to try and get everyone to quit smoking is a lot of bullshit. Tobacco is a natural plant. And, you're taking something away from us that, if it helps relax you, I notice it's helped relax me, cigars. I quite love them. You're not hurting anyone. Then what's the problem? There's better things to be dealing with than, you know, trying to ban something which just does not make sense. And stupid idiots in the media go around making a big deal about it. We don't care. All right? We've got better things to be dealing with. Cost of living is just shit. I mean, having my spiritual practice is important. This is where the Labor government went wrong. Mucked up everything when we had a good economy going under ScoMo. And then Albo gets him and stuffed it up. We had, I think, these neo-Nazi protests, which is not good at all, and that should not be going on ever. And I can back him up saying I agree that people should never ever be supporting any Nazi or terrorist organization, and yeah, that stuff is just not acceptable. But yet, Chris Mann's letting people protest against with a terrorist organization, Palestine. It's quite complicated. Like, this war goes back years ago. There's a long history with it. And I mean, we don't hear much about Ukraine and Russia lately. You do occasionally read about it in the news. But why? There's two sides to every story. between Israel and Hamas. It is quite complicated, but the problem is whenever you have war, it disrupts supply, it disrupts cargo ships. They have to divert to another place, another route, so that they have to charge more for the shipping, and that's why they're putting prices up as well. Gas prices too, especially get hit the most. But now I feel that yeah, I think we're just fed up of being lied to too much. Australians are just sick and tired. We are just sick and tired of the bullshit out there. This capitalistic society. You know, you got Kevin Rudd now, the US ambassador, and there's rugby league players that are having problems getting their visa for the first round in Las Vegas in March. But Kevin Rudd's like, oh, well, deal with it. Such is life. I mean, come on. You're the US ambassador. This is Kevin Rudd for you. So I don't know how Peter V'landys is going to deal with it. I don't know if the players who cannot get a visa to enter the United States are going to, if they're going to be stood down. That's still got, what, 2 months away? I certainly hope that they can go and play and introduce rugby league to the American audience out there. It's nice to see that Peter V'landys wants the game to expand, and look, I can support him on that. But you know, when they start partnering up with Albo and getting all political and PC culture, you start to turn people off the game. People just will not go and buy tickets. I guarantee you, because people do not want to go and get lectured and have a whole uh, thing going on to say this and this and blah blah blah, because it just doesn't make sense anymore. The world just does not make sense. You know, trying to tell us what we can and can't say, and using, you know, words like he and she. This is just ridiculous. Um, but this is our world that we live in today. Guarantee you that. Um, yeah, so that's life right now. I think that, you know, as time goes ahead, people lately are making a big deal about vapes. Like, get over it. Adults want to smoke them, just let them smoke them. Alright? So I can't be bothered anymore. People just stop caring. Yeah, that's just how we got to deal with it. And this is why I, try to keep a healthy mindset, because having that mindset is important to further achieve your success out there. So that's how I guess things have gone with Vince McMahon and how all this unfolded. I don't know. But for me, it's just about, I guess, just doing your best and just, yeah, taking a day at a time to dive into your intuition, and that's it. But I'll leave it there, guys. Please subscribe to the Stephen Shields radio show. I publish new podcasts every Friday at 6 p.m. Sydney, Australia time. Bye for now.